Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Ron Neitzel, author of The Green Wizard's Guide. All about your organic yard care. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. Link below. If you're new to the channel or you've been sent to the channel because of the topic, um, I do cover other topics concerning health, concerning your diets or lack thereof of diet. Um, I've linked up with an incredible company that offers the best of the best to help your diet along and to get your body back on track where we were meant to be 200 years ago. Uh, because what's available today, heck, within the last 30 years, is detrimental to your health and not helping your health in any way, shape, or form. If it's in a box or it's in a bag and it's in a grocery store, it's probably not good for you. Um, Sorry. Grocery stores are there to make a profit. They are not there to keep you healthy. Then again, neither are your doctors. But look, all of the stuff that I've got to say and all of the stuff that I try to, let's call it, inform you about, I am not a doctor. I do not claim to be a doctor. I do not wish anybody to follow any of the advice that I have. Please consult your doctor before doing anything. But understand, doctors haven't been around as long as we have. And dietary health has been around 4,000, 5,000 years on record. And there are just some things that, you have to question what your doctor knows. Here's these people go out to get their white coats and become self-proclaimed, what do you want to call them? Gods? Because that's what they think they are. And they get 30 minutes of dietary training to deal with the human body. That said, today's topic. This one's a sad one for me. This one drives me the craziest because it is directly linked to some things that the human body cannot produce, which is vitamin C. There are only 3 animals on the planet that can't produce C, that suffer from the effects of lack of C. Now I know some of you have heard, the all dreaded C word, cancer, and the attributes that vitamin C have reversing that. I'm not saying it's a cure. Please don't misunderstand. But when the lack of vitamin C has such a detrimental effect on the entire human system, and there is nothing in our body that produces vitamin C, even combinations of things in our body cannot produce C, and cancer is rampant. When we increase the forms of vitamin C, and I do say forms of, there are many forms of vitamin C. I'm just not crazy about some of the ones that we find in the holistic stores, that when you go and mix this stuff in a glass of water, it never breaks down because it's a forced chemical laden vitamin C. Regardless of that, for years they've been talking about diabetes 1, diabetes 2. Now, surprise, surprise, they've come out with a diabetes 3 for Alzheimer's patients as it being the cause thereof. Well, You have to understand or look at what ultimately is going on here. With our diet, as poor as it is, and I know a lot of you are going to sit back and say, Ron, Mr. Green Wizard, sir, it is just hereditary. It is in my family, and there's nothing I can do to avoid it. Well, back in 1998, they started doing some major studies, and there's three very huge studies um, that link back to this. And no, it is dietary. It is the condition in which your parents put food in front of you, and you ate what they ate. They were diabetic. You ended up diabetic. Now, that not to say that you are not predispositioned to have this pancreatic problem with a decrease in insulin. Uh, I want you to think about, as you've been in this situation, or somebody in this situation. They start out on one medication, and over time they build an immunity to that, so the medication has to be increased, and then they start you on another medication, and then another medication, and then they start increasing your insulin, and then they increase your insulin even more, and all you're building is a tolerance to a lot of these things. Now they're trying to come out with a a petri dish grown cell that they can inject into your body to try and help correct your body from having this resistance. So now they're going to force you to be accepting to these medications. I don't know about you, but that scares the living daylights out of me. Your body in 90 days can reproduce everything. All your cells are continually in reproduction, all of them, provided your DNA chain has not been somehow, some way genetically modified. And I know a lot of you have heard that term before, and I know it's a scary term. I'm not trying to go there. All I'm trying to say is that with the box store foods, what you find in a box and the ingredients that you cannot read, and the bags of foods with ingredients you cannot read, and dye colors added, and the list goes on and on and on. Oh Lord, please, if you can't pronounce it, don't buy it. It's kind of that simple. You shouldn't need a medical degree to be able to read the ingredients on a food package. It's food. It's And these are the things you've got to be worried about, because what are they doing to your DNA? What are they doing to your cells? What is the consumption of these things? And some of you are going to sit back and say, yeah, but some of these things are built like this for food storage, so that they can exist on a shelf, or exist in a can, or exist in a bottle for an extended period of time. Granted, I understand that. And we've been storing foods around the planet. The Egyptians are finding food stored in the ground that's still good. Honey being one of the huge ones. Uh, and we didn't have the chemical additives involved. So, yeah, we've been storing foods without chemicals. Fear the chemicals. Seriously. You could be eating stuff as a diabetic that is causing the diabetes to get worse. Now, it almost hurts my head. It really it is so intense, and this goes back so far, and we're talking about going right down to the cells and the cell structure for diabetes. And what's going on is there's a form of fat. I know fat cells, just it the process in which each cell survives and exists and takes things in and stores things. And I don't want to go into the get out your microscope and let's get scientific, but there's a form of fat being stored in your cells that is stopping the sugars and the insulins from getting in. That's diabetes. Now, some of these fats are the issues. Some of these fats are what we need to be looking at. You know, there's a product, and I've made sure I left a link below. There's a product called EFA, or essential fatty acids. We need to be looking at these things. These we need in our diet. And I've got a 8-point diet here in mind that diabetics need to be looking at and need to be changing to. Uh, and I'm not going to sit here and say that, look, if you're eating meat, you have a problem. No, what we have is bad foods available to us in abundance, and we need to correct that. And we need to take those bad foods and turn them into good foods. When the studies from the 1950s tell us that a single cup of spinach gave us enough iron out of our gardens on a daily basis to meet our daily allowance and our daily needs under certain forms of certain activities for our blood and for our this and for our that. No one has gone back to look at how much iron is now available in the spinach. It's looking like 10 to 12 cups of spinach now per day, because our soils are failing us. Our gardens are failing us. That's why I wrote the Green Wizard's Guide, was to get people the understanding, to fix their yards, to fix their gardens, to start replenishing and getting these foods back from the 1950s that are available. The NPK system has failed us. The NPK system has turned us into what we are now. 10% of the American population, 30 million people, are suffering from some form or another of diabetes, where the cell itself has stopped allowing the essential sugars in that the cell needs to multiply, that the cell needs to do its job. Yes, we need other minerals. We need high doses of selenium, because it's not in our diet. It's not there. We have to put it in. It's just one of those things. We're born with a certain amount. With lack of, then we start into bone density problems, and we start into kidney stones, and we start into, and one domino causes another domino to fall, and it's just continual. And this is one of those really hard subjects to deal with, because so many white coats. Look, if you're going to listen to a white coat, go talk to your butcher. Don't talk to your doctor. Your doctor has had 30 minutes of dietary training. Get a dietitian, somebody who knows this stuff. Go talk to somebody holistic that knows this stuff. If in question or in doubt, or don't have time to research this stuff yourself, to understand the foods that are in the stores are causing our problems. If we get away from those and we get back to, now some of you can't. There's some conditions going on here. There's more to the story. As some old radio show hosts would say, I've left a link. I'm going to call it your daily assignment. I've left a link. Go listen to this lady, Charlotte Iserby. And I'm doing more and more research here, and I'm going to be hosting more and more of her stuff here. But this lady got a hold of some information before World War II. You need to know. You need to understand. there's a bigger picture here that's caused all of this. And I say right on the video, and before you click the link, understand you don't have to read it, you just have to listen to it. Jump to about the 19-minute mark and start listening. And I'll do that with all her videos. And the first, when you first start listening to it, you'll understand why I'm saying go ahead and jump forward, because you'll understand. Anyhow, let's get to your diet. I don't want to run this too long. I'm already at the 15-minute mark, and I've gone too long. Leafy green vegetables. They're low calorie. Your spinach, your lettuce, your kale. These things are going to up your magnesium and your vitamin C. They're tremendously important to the diabetics. We have to start reversing some of these things, and these things will reverse. You got to understand, you're talking the risk of heart disease. You're talking the risk of strokes. You're talking about losing your eyesight. You're talking about kidney failure. These are all. This is why I titled this "The Silent Killer," because there's no signs coming. There's no, okay, all of a sudden I have a red rash here, or I have a this there, or I have a, all of a sudden things just slip. No, it's not all of a sudden. This is years and years and years of buildup in your system. This isn't an overnight thing. It takes 30, 60, 90 days out of a good, strong understanding and diet to get things to change. You should start your diet first thing in the morning, avoiding coffee, avoiding sugars, avoiding tea, avoiding, and get a protein drink first thing in the morning. You don't know what your day's activities are going to be. You don't want to be storing excess amounts of carbs to get ready for the Appalachian Trail hike, unless you're actually going to go do that the next day. Avoid the carbohydrates. Unless you're going to have an active day the following day, moving, helping somebody move. This time of year, mall shopping for Christmas. It's just one of those things, depending on when you're listening to this video. If you are planning an excessively busy day where you're going to be physical, carbohydrate the night before. You don't want carbs in your diets in the mornings. Avoid your sugars, avoid your starches. Just get a protein drink and move on. Get on about your day. But plan your diet. Look at what we need. We need the antioxidants. We have to get those in there from the leafy greens and the vegetables. Your higher spinach, and your kale. Oh, incredible, incredible. I'm building a salad basically for your lunchtime, if that's what you want to look at, and cut your food back. They're almost saying throughout a lot of the doctors that you should be, as a diabetic, you should be fasting as much as you're eating. So if you're eating one day, fast the next, kind of is what they're saying to help your body. Give it time. It's a slow process. It takes time to filter through your entire bloodstream, your entire cell system, your entire immune system, and start flushing this stuff out and getting this stuff working right. We need to protect our digestive system. We need to be looking at and thinking about our eyesight. If our eyesight is continually year after year getting worse, we could be diabetic or have stages of diabetes. It's the silent killer. Think this through. Understand what you're eating. They're going to tell you that you should avoid meats. Well, no, there's some essential fats there we have to have. You can't avoid meat. You can't get fats from vegetables. They're just not there. We have to have fats in our diet. The essential fatty acids, which you can get in pill form, but What if you can't? What if you can't afford it? What are you going to do? Well, start eating. Here's a list: salmon, sardines, mackerel, herring. Then the other one, the anchovies. Oh my God, I'm sorry, but it's part of the list. They happen to have the essential fats we need. These are cold dwelling fish that live in colder waters. Think about that. They have the fat stores to deal with these temperatures. Well, the human body needs them too. Needs them for other things as well, joint issues, arthritis, and what have you. But again, that goes back to directing the fats where they need to go, and you need the seleniums to do that. You need your boost in selenium. You have to get it back up. You know, yeah, we're talking about your omegas, your omega 3s, your DHAs, your EPAs. All of these are essential in dealing with diabetes. That, you can, that's not to say never have pork, never have beef, never have bird. Uh, no, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if you want to beat this and you want to reverse this, you need to make these more so primaries in your diet because they're going to more so stabilize when you don't have access to the selenium. You don't have access to the higher grade foods. Now, I'm not saying that what you're going to get in the grocery store in your salmons, your sardines, your mackerels, your herrings is going to be great for you. Man's been destroying the planet for years, but but they're going to be better for you than some of the GMOs, some of the hormone laden beef, birds, sheep, pigs. Man's got control of these more so than he does the fish. So we're going to get better from our fish. And I've talked about this before. We're talking about our salads. We need those high fibers and low carbs. You know what's great to be adding into your salads and into your meals are chia seeds. Of all things, chia seeds. Very high in fiber, will fill you up more, make you feel fuller, and help we'll call it fasting. Because you're going to eat less and feel fuller. That's a good thing. And it's still low in carbs. So you're not causing the wrong sugars to be released into your bloodstream to then be released to your cells. You're giving your body time to back off by avoiding the carbs. I've spoken about the Ceylon cinnamon before, and please go listen to the Ceylon cinnamon video. But this is one of the tremendous ones. You have to overdose on Ceylon cinnamon. You've got to get what is there from the cinnamon into your system as you're dealing with diabetes too. Yes, it can reverse itself even back further, but we're talking about your diet now. I don't want to just concentrate on cinnamon as one of the hardcores, but I call it your third essential. Get it in its powder form. Get it in a pill form. Pop it 3 times a day, like candy. Look into it. Get into it. Broccoli. Oh, here's a beautiful one. Of all the other ones that are out there, you've got your high C, which is different from the ones you're going to get from your leafy greens. Again, I said a multitude of vitamin C's to avoid the C word, Mr. Cancer, Mrs. Cancer, whatever you want to call it. I call it a cuss word. I hate what we've done. I hate what's happened. But it's going to give you the magnesium. It's going to lower your insulin levels. We need these. Your magnesium, your high C, but you're going to get a different form of broccoli than you are going to get from your kale, your lettuce, your spinach. Higher levels. That's what gives you flavors. These are the things we need to be looking at. There's a thing here, lutein, xanthan. These are created by the broccoli plant. They will reverse deteriorating eyesight. They will reverse so many things going on in your system and lower your insulin levels. When you start thinking about lower insulin or too high in insulin, you start seeing signs here from headaches to loss of eyesight. Um, um, it, you it's horrendous. It is absolutely horrendous. And by not having your fresh broccoli, you're losing these potentials. You've got to have it. The whole point of the Green Wizard's Guide is to fix your yard and fix your garden so that you can grow these the way they were back in the 50s, the way they were back in the 1600s, and further back. The stuff was available at one time. It's no longer available because of our current growing system. Get the Green Wizard's Guide. Grow your own vegetables. The taste alone is going to show you what you've been missing. Okay, so you're thinking about a salad. What are you going to do? Well, yeah, what are you going to do? Extra virgin olive oil. And be absolutely certain of your source because they're mixing other oils in, depending on the manufacturer, and you're getting less than 50% of the extra virgin olive oil. I've been looking in the grocery stores, I've been paying attention to what they're selling, and they're cheating. They're using other garbage oils to make up for not having enough olives in the mix. So pay attention. You know, One of the things that a lot of you may or may not understand, I love to grow garlic. I thrive on it. I have it around for my pets. I have it around for the wild animals. I let this stuff grow wild, and I get tremendous production. You can see it over on the Green Wizard's Guide, or you can see it over on my web channel, YouTube channel, Green Wizard, and see some of the sizes that I'm getting. But this stuff is phenomenal. And guess what? It helps in diabetes. And there's a very interesting dietary mix of a little bit of garlic, a clove of garlic, and honey. When you bring the two together, it increases metabolism and it does all sorts of wonderful, wonderful, wonderful things. Get these things in your diet. You're looking at this and you're thinking about this and you're going, okay, so you've given me fish and you've given me this incredible salad. You've given me something that I can kind of digest to go with it with the extra virgin olive oil. You know, what else am I able to do? What else can I think about? Well, strawberries. There's a lot of different berries, but strawberries is huge for the diabetic. I know it's not the right time of year, depending on when you're listening to this, but there are other berries available. You need to be looking at these. No, you don't want the inflammatory ones, but the antioxidants that are in here and the anti-inflammatory properties that are here are going to help the cell membrane allow that fat to release from the cell and exchange itself for the EFAs and allow the insulin that is produced by your pancreas to get where it needs to go and get you off the medications, get you off the insulin pumps, get you out of this stuff. So look at your berries, look at your apples. There's some incredible apples out there. You know, Another one you want to look at would be your pears. We had talked about this the other day, and pears is huge, and they're finding it's even more and more so incredible when we're dealing with Alzheimer's patients and getting the plaque removed from the brain and from the cells and opening things up and giving us the oxygen levels back and sharpening our minds and sharpening our memories. So now you have a salad, you have meat, and you have a fruit to go with it. You've got almost a complete meal here. The ones you want to avoid, though, would be your tropicals, your bananas, and those types of fruits. There's higher sugar levels, natural sugars. I understand, but higher sugar levels. Things you want to avoid would be like beets. They're currently making all of our sugar out of beets. Dangerous, dangerous, dangerous. If it's not pure cane sugar, avoid it, please. So if you found this informative and you like this, please share this out. It's important to me. I'd like to grow this channel. I'd like to get more information out, but as my numbers stay low, I'm only going to feed out information at my leisure rather than for what you guys actually need. And again, follow the links posted below. There's a lot of great information there, and I do have an assignment there. I'd like to hear back from some of you after you listen to Charlotte as to what you think. What's your opinion? But get this information out, everybody. Yes, I am trying to sell more copies of the Green Wizard's Guide. And yes, we are looking at doing some many, many, many other incredible things that you're all going to want to pay attention to. So expect more from me. And I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to close this up because we're past the 30-minute mark, and I don't like people having to sit and listen to me too long. I've been told I would be an absolutely incredible radio show host, but that's not what we're here for today. Today, we're worried about you, your diet, and the potentials for diabetes. Let's avoid that, everybody. Let's start looking the other direction. Let's start getting healthy. Let's start being prepared for what life has to hand us. And let's start living longer. So you all have a great day. You know where to find me. I'll be out here somewhere. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that thumbs up. We'll see y'all later. You have a wonderful day.